stuck in the sleeve. Her husband Lou trailed behind her, saying nervously, "Is the safety on? Is the safety on? Hand the gun to me and then put your robe on, Bernice. Is the safety on?" Bernice got herself untangled and tucked the gun into her armpit, barrel down, while she tied her robe belt. "Is that the .38? asked Lou. "Lord a mercy, why didn't you get your little purse gun?" Bernice opened the door, and there was Hazel Crabtree, holding a wad of her mucus plug cupped in both hands and saying, "This came out. Is this a piece of baby? I hurt." Bernice said, "Holy monkeys, you're pregnant? Lou, call for an ambulance." Tiny towns like Between didn't have 911 service in 1976, so Lou went to get Bernice's emergency numbers card from the drawer. But Hazel shoved past Bernice and grabbed at him, falling to her knees as she yowled, No, you can't call anyone. My mother can't know." Then she let go of Lou and said in a high, panicked voice, "Something's coming. Something else. Something bad is coming." Hazel scrabbled at her belly and crotch, frantic. Her sweatpants were soggy, and she shoved them down to mid-thigh. She wasn't wearing any panties. Then she tilted and tipped over, writhing on the foyer carpet. Bernice looked up and saw all three of her young sons huddled in a clot on the stairs. They were clutching one another on the second-floor landing, staring down through the banisters with wide, horrified eyes. "Never you mind," Bernice said to Lou. He was tugging at his earlobe as he watched Hazel flail and howl on the floor. He set the phone back down in its cradle on the hall table. Bernice said, "Get up there with the boys. Tell them something. I will fix this." Lou trotted obediently upstairs and picked up the toddler, herding the two older boys back toward their bedroom. Hazel's contraction subsided, and she rose up on her hands and knees, panting. Bernice's front door opened into a carpeted entryway. A wide doorway on the right led to the den, and straight ahead was a long hallway to the kitchen. On the left, the stairs went up to a landing that overlooked the foyer. There was a heavy table, almost a sideboard, that ran the length of the staircase. The phone was on the edge of the table, close to the front door, and the rest of it was taken up by the huge glass terrarium that housed Bernice's beloved Luna moths. The adult moths were awake, some fanning their wings as they posed on the perches and twigs. Others had paired off, attaching end to make the kind of desperate love that comes with an extremely short lifespan. Bernice tried to step around Hazel, heading for the table so she could set down her gun and pick up the phone, but Hazel reared up on her knees in front of Bernice, crying, "No, you can't. No one knows I'm this way. No one can find out." She was grabbing for Bernice's arm, but she fell short and jerked at her hand, squeezing. The gun went off. The bullet whizzed past Hazel's head, smashing through the glass of the terrarium and burying itself in the staircase. Glass showered down, pattering onto the carpet and sprinkling Hazel's wild red hair. Hazel and Bernice froze in the sudden silence, their eyes locked on the smoking hole in Bernice's stairs. From upstairs, Lou yelled, "Bernice? Bernice?" They heard his footsteps clattering across the upstairs hall, the little boys running in a panicked herd behind him. "Stop!" screeched Bernice, and the footsteps stopped dead. "No one is hit, Lou. Stay with the boys." "I asked you, was the safety on?" Lou called down, aggrieved. Bernice hollered back, "Maybe you better put the safety on your mouth." Next door, the gunshot woke up Bernice's sister, Jenny. Jenny bolted upright, clutching the covers to her bosom. Her bedroom window overlooked Bernice's front lawn, and she saw the downstairs lights blazing and Bernice's front door standing open. Jenny got up and ran on tiptoe down the hall to Stacia's room. She flipped the light switch and sat on the bed, shaking Stacia awake. Stacia sat up, her gray eyes opening wide, immediately alert. She held her fist up to her chin, thumb and pinky spread wide, asking by sign and her expressive face what was wrong. Jenny shook her head and signed back, "Heard gun." She cut her eyes to the left to indicate Bernice's house, then signed, "Lights on, door open. What do we do?" As soon as she finished signing, she moved her right hand to pluck at the fine dark hairs on her left forearm, tugging hard enough to lift her skin in points. One of the hairs popped out, torn root and all from the follicle. "Don't pick," Stacia signed. She gently peeled Jenny's fingers away and gave her a bracing pat, then signed, "I'll handle it." Stacia climbed out of bed and pulled on her robe. She tied the belt with savage efficiency, then spun on one heel and took off for the front door at a dead run. Her long black hair was unbound, and it unfurled behind her like a banner. Jenny stared open-mouthed for a moment and then said, "Goodness grief!" She ran after Stacia, waving frantically in a futile attempt to catch her eye, signing, "Wait, wait!"